Hello everyone. Moscow and Beijing are on track to completely phase out US dollar from China-Russia direct trade. Reuters just reported. Moscow. Foreign Trade Bank of Russia said on Tuesday, it had become the first Russian bank to launch money transfers to China in yuan, without using the international messaging system SWIFT that underpins financial transactions globally. As tensions between US and the East in Eurasia continue to escalate, especially after Pelosi's visit to Taiwan, followed by $1 billion military aid, despite Chinese objections. We are seeing acceleration of military, trade and political cooperation in the region to counter US influence. Putin just attended large-scale war games involving over 50,000 troops, 5,000 units of military equipment, 140 aircraft and 60 ships by joint armed forces of China, India, Russia, Mongolia and few other countries. De-dollarizing of China-Russia trade relationships is just another aspect of current trend, away from US dominance in the region. This payment arrangement between Beijing and Moscow is a new step in that direction. The sanctions on major Russian banks, including state-controlled Foreign Trade Bank of Russia, have effectively cut Russian lenders off from the global financial system. This new reality is leading to a massive rejection of use of the dollar and euro in international payments, bank CEO Andrei Kostin said in a statement. In 2021, Russian-Chinese cross-border trade volume was around $68 billion in US dollar equivalent. In the first 7 months of 2022, this volume rose to over $97 billion US dollars, with possibility of doubling by the end of the year. With this surge in trade, given anti-Russian sanctions and Western rhetoric, use of US dollar or SWIFT is no longer a viable route. I mentioned in some of my previous videos, that if you push a major trade player like Russia against the wall, reaction would be fast and decisive. Hence a new international banking payment system. As we know, China was developing its own SIPS payment alternative to SWIFT for a while. Russians would be happy to use SIPS and stockpile yuan, as opposed to dollar reserves. China has trade with almost everyone on the globe, so yuan can be easily converted to whatever Russia needs. The problem with using SIPS to trade with Russia, is that SIPS is using SWIFT codes as part of its protocol. So new solution had to be found. Russia also has its own payment system, SPFS, which they developed since 2014, after threat of disconnection from SWIFT for the annexation on Crimea. If you are curious about this Russian SWIFT alternative, I have made a video about it a while ago. I will post a link here and in a description. The problem with this payment system is that it is done in Russian rubles, and that could pose a threat of secondary sanctions for China. The launch of the yuan transfer system will significantly simplify the work of Russian companies and individuals with Chinese partners, increasing the popularity of the yuan in our country, Russian bank CEO said. Interesting part is that it is not just a payment arrangement. Russia Bank is stating its intention to start lending in yuan and other currencies using this platform. VTB said the maximum amount of a single money transfer was equivalent to 20 million rubles, $328,677, and the maximum monthly limit is set at 100 million rubles or almost $1.5 million equivalent per customer. With another Russian state-owned bank Sberbank making a similar announcement, we can expect to see bilateral trade between Russia and China to grow exponentially. Looks like this latest announcement is tailored to service mid-size deals on a small business level. This is where cross-border trade is expected to explode. Bilateral trade between China and Russia using yuan on the state-owned enterprise level was happening for some time now, so focusing on a small and mid-sized business will allow to eliminate use of US dollar and China-Russian trade almost completely. Adding a full suite of banking services to this initiative will help small businesses to trade seamlessly. As we know, lending is an essential instrument in international trade, with banks sometimes acting as the escrow agents for the deals and also as guarantors. This was a major blow for Russian trade to lose access to banking services like freight insurance and so forth. In this new arrangement, it appears, this obstacle will be eliminated. This is a blueprint for the international trade for the decades to come. Big producer countries will form direct bilateral trading agreements using national currencies, bypassing US dollar and SWIFT completely. There are a lot of arguments that there is no viable alternative to US dollar as a reserve currency for the foreseeable future. I would disagree and point towards this latest China-Russia trade arrangement. It's not a technological impossibility. Using dollar as a reserve currency was more of a necessity, with petrodollar Saudi-US pact being the only way to get oil. Since 1980s, it became a standard, given the size of US economy and military. Now that US economy is only 25% of world's GDP and is about to be overtaken by China, given the enormous US budget and trade deficits, I think it is only a matter of time before countries would abandon US dollar as a reserve currency in favor of other currencies, including their own. It all comes down to motivation of individual countries, and US seem to provide enough incentive, almost to the point that I think it might be intentional. As this example shows, loss of the reserve currency status by the US dollar can happen literally overnight. This is all for today, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Until next time.